Welcome to Mac Moments. I am Melissa Chavez, founder and CEO. This podcast is a space for honest conversations about focus, leadership, and what it really looks like to build and grow a business in real time. Each episode is a moment to slow down, think clearly, and move forward with intention. Let us get started. Welcome, Bruce.
Hello, Melissa. How are we doing this morning?
I am doing well. I'm so glad you joined us today. Just share with our audience who you are and why you're here and how we know each other.
Yes.
Do all the things.
The fond memories.
Yes.
I think we met at a BNI event,
Yes.
a networking event. And I thought, man, I'd love for her to be a member of my chapter. And lo and behold.
He stole us. He
I
stole
did.
me from another chapter.
I did. One of the better decisions I've made.
Well, what I
have
love
an eye
is
for talent.
you started a marketing company in which you know I love marketing.
Yes.
What made you want to start that? Let's talk about Big Three first, what it
Okay.
is and...
Yeah. So Big Three is a full-scale digital marketing company. Our flagship product are websites because we believe that's the foundation of all good marketing in the sense that everything else is somewhat a funnel to that. There's a lot of things evolving on search engine marketing, specifically AI, that at some levels trying to bypass websites a little bit. But beyond the websites, we do branding, like on social media. That's more of a slow drip campaign typically. And then we've got search engine marketing. We design logos and do some other branding. That's pretty much the sum of it.
Yeah.
We're more of a white collar
Yeah.
type of
Service.
group. Yep.
So your background is in, I'm going to date you,
I know you will.
Yellow
Yes.
Pages.
Yes.
When you think about, I mean, we're the same age. You're probably younger than me, actually.
I don't know.
Pretty darn close.
We're not going to have a contest. No. Yeah, I'm not telling.
No. Yeah, you started in Yellow Pages. You were there for a very long time. So you understand the marketing and you've seen it evolve so much since Yellow Page days.
Yeah, so I think my partner and I, the co-owner of Big Three, resides in Birmingham. So we've got an office over there as well. We serve most of North Alabama. Let me see, what was your question though?
Yellow Pages.
Yeah, so as far, I've got bragging rights. I get to say that I've been in the search engine marketing business for 35 years.
But was it an engine? This was the engine. Your fingers doing the
Well,
walking.
they used to actually,
They had the fingers.
they actually used to have a slogan that said the original search engine. And if you think about it, I explain this to a lot of people, and that is that marketing, if you had to take it all and force it into two buckets, one would be called directional and the other would be creative.
Yeah.
And so directory, the phone book. So you got a flat tire, you don't need any incentive, you just need to get the problem fixed. Google is the modern version of that. As a matter of fact, if you look at the two different products, you'll see that there's free listings that are on there, so everybody's going to be found, but then the paid listings are the ones that capture the bigger audience. Phone book was the same way.
Yeah.
So a lot of people that are in the marketing world probably came from some origin, like
Yeah.
TV, newspaper, radio,
Yeah, I came from
magazines.
TV.
Yeah,
And I loved it. I miss it just being television, radio,
I know.
and billboards.
Yeah.
And I remember when they were talking about DirecTV or something. I don't know. I was like, what is going on? But I did research and all of that stuff. So I would get a lot of the data and find out why people should advertise on that particular station and stuff. And it was fun. But man, it was one thing to go against newspaper, radio, and billboards.
Yeah.
And now it's a whole other beast. But you talk about the Yellow Pages and how Google's now that. That's also why somebody needs a good website.
We certainly believe that. Yeah.
Well, talk about that, because there might be some small business owners who can't afford it, or they only have a Facebook page, or maybe an Instagram, because Instagram's pretty popular right now. But share with somebody why a website is so important.
Well, as I mentioned, a website is the foundation. It is the brains of the whole machine, in our opinion. And we really work hard on that. Oddly enough, one of the most difficult things to get from a client is the content for the website. So a lot of people will say, yeah, I'll buy a website, but then they have to write a novel of content.
Yeah.
If you think about it, in many cases you have a home page, an About Us page. Let's say you're a plumber, you've got water heaters, tankless water heaters, septic lines, and all these different things. And most of our clients get overwhelmed looking at 10 pages of content. Name, address, phone number. Do you take Visa, MasterCard? What are your hours? What are your key terms? What areas do you cover? What unique offerings do you have? Things like that. And so that's something, fortunately, that I identified long before I started my company. Was I noticed that the quality of a website was directly related to how much content was given. And with the previous employer I had, if you bought a website and you didn't give them content, they put that website up pretty quick. And they just made the pictures larger and the content kind of shallow. We've got a method to where we can actually extract all that information within about an hour. And it's made a massive impact on people that want to do business with us because they know it's going to be painless. I've got a client that had actually a trade out where his website was essentially paid for. And I said, why haven't you done it? And he said, because I've got to put the content out. And a lot of our contractors are in a position to where they go out all day long. They're servicing people. They're collecting information to do estimates. They get home. They've got a wife and kids or a husband and kids. And they've got all these home responsibilities, but they've got to get those estimates back out. The website information's here, and then the paying customers that are waiting for a response are over here. And so this can go months, and in this other guy's case, years. And I asked him, I said, well, how long has this web designer been waiting on you? And the guy said, 4 years.
Oh, my word. That just makes me think of another thing. Building with Intention is the title of our series. And when we go into business for ourselves, I've said this many times, is we do it because we have a passion for the product or service that we're offering.
Yeah.
And it's not to think about websites. It's not to think about marketing. I say that because that's my wheelhouse and yours, but they don't have time. They're just wearing another hat.
Right.
They're having to do their books. They're having to do their payroll and making sure the vehicles are working and things like that. Yeah. So as you've built your business, what are some things that you personally have let slide? Maybe you didn't do your website, because I know in marketing, now my marketing's better, but at the beginning, my marketing was slim to none, even though I was in this field.
Yeah. I think one of the things that I knew when I started my company was trying to make sure that I could partner with somebody that would see my blind spots and offset my weaknesses.
That's smart.
And so fortunately, I have my business partner was in a really good job, and I called her up and said, hey, I'd love for you to be my business partner in this. She said, I'll pray about it. And I was like, that's a soft no or a hard no. I don't know. That's a soft no. And then I guess divine intervention occurred. COVID hit. She lost her job and called me back and said, maybe I'd be open for this. So she is a really good talent, but she helps basically make sure that the website's killer because she helped design it. And she did design it. I helped generate the content and all that. That's really the strength of Big Three Marketing, is that we've got two people. I've got 35 years. She's got about 25 years. She came from the digital side, working for YP.com. One of the misnomers about Yellow Pages are, wow, they still make it, but there was an evolution. I remember going out on calls with a search engine manager and introducing them to what internet was.
When you heard the dee-dee-dee.
One of the things when you think about TV, newspaper, radio, Yellow Pages and all that, most of those industries are, I've lost count, but 70 years or older. And then you look at internet, the iPhone came out in 2006. So it is really a baby as far as the total development. And you and I have been around while the internet has rolled out. We weren't around when TV,
Gen
newspaper,
X
radio.
Babies.
Yeah.
We've seen it all. We've seen the Stone Ages, basically, in marketing. As a business owner, you guys have found your partner to cover those blind spots. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't have the privilege to do because they just started on their own. Think of me, for example. I wasn't married. I don't have a business partner, but I had owned a business before. And I knew my weak spot was numbers and books. So the first person I hired was a bookkeeper. Yeah. So talk a little bit to where you guys are going and maybe some opportunities where you could get more help or another expert or something to help grow your business.
First of all, you've done an amazing job building out your business without a business partner. You've got a very strong mind for marketing and networking, and
I love it.
And you're all over the place.
Yeah. Well, so if I could just network and make money off that, I would be so happy.
Yeah. Well, that may be the dream for both of us, is to get into a position to where we can have people that are taking care of some of the other responsibilities. And I do believe that we work on the business, but we do a lot of work in the business as well.
Yeah.
And as far as weak spots, I would say that fortunately at this point AI has helped us a lot, but it does require a lot of engagement. I just went to a chamber meeting yesterday and this lady did an incredible presentation on AI and how reliable it is, but also how much it can tell you what they think you want to hear or how the information's incorrect. And unless you know how to actually test it, it can get you in some trouble.
Oh my word, people are so dependent on it, which I think we are to some degree as well here. But it's like, if it sounds like AI, make it sound like you. One, and then also maybe even Google the book that it's referencing. Is that really true? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's also amazing how many people use AI and they keep all the icons and all the things that make it look a dead ringer for AI.
And the email, I hope you're doing well. No, you don't. No, you do not hope I'm doing well. That's AI asking. It's so frustrating. But also, I think that it's making us very aware. It's just another evolution.
Right.
The AI is supporting us, but now we're very aware. Think of Canva when people were just using Canva.
Yeah.
Everybody had the same templates. It's like, I've seen that template 100 times.
Yeah.
And now it's AI. It will be another version of AI. Now we're hearing about Claude and the differences. And I've actually compared Chat and Claude a bit myself. Have you?
Yeah.
What are you finding you like about
Well, I like them both, and I find that they have different purposes. The Claude seemed to help me more with presentations and things like that. Chat was more of just short, quick, and reoccurring, where you refine the information that you put in. My wife will not use Chat. She's heard that Claude is less likely to profile or retain or something like that, so that's her.
Well,
Now Valerie knows a whole lot more than those two. She lives in, my business partner, lives in AI, which is great. I just want to keep her in the dungeon working on websites, running campaigns.
Keep her in the dungeon?
Yeah.
Valerie, he put you in the dungeon, man. You have to apologize.
Well, the good news for her is she's got somebody out there running from one appointment to the other. So.
Oh, I know. It's a team effort. It's a lot of work doing the sales, doing the books, making sure account paid, doing the creative, getting the content and all of that. It's insane. But AI is definitely here to stay. It's going to evolve. And what, your wife not using it, I have a sister who refuses to use it as well, and I'm just
well, she uses Claude. She doesn't use Chat.
Oh.
Because one supposedly is more invasive, and she's read some articles that did make her feel good about it.
Oh, I hear
For me,
you.
all the information's out there for the most part. As long as I don't get my bank account and a couple things like that.
One of the things that bothers me is you commented on my business cards earlier because I have my photo on there, and I'm like,
I like her mugshot.
But the new ones I got, I didn't put a photo because I'm like, I don't want people to think it's just about me. But hello, I'm all over the internet doing videos, so we're
Well, you know
out
what? We're the same way. We don't have any pictures of us or anything on our website because the mission, it truly is, and I know you feel the same way, it's all about the client.
Yeah.
We've got vehicles, the type of advertising you've got versus me, but the mission is to make them successful, and we have a clearly defined goal. We know that if they're not successful, that eventually they'd have to cut us loose. Nothing personal.
But marketing's always the first budget to go.
Yeah, unless we're
doing our job.
Yeah. And it could always be that way, but at some level there's certain things that you need to have.
Yeah.
And I think having your branding in front of people, no one would ever argue that that's not important. For us, a website is something that's somewhat sticky and that people tend to keep even through bad times as well.
So, considering the audience, because we have such a huge following, 85 people.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
If they're wanting to start a website and they don't have a budget yet, but they need to get something, is there like a starting point you could recommend them to do? Like a certain portal, GoDaddy? I'm not trying to get plugs in for anybody, but is there a pretty easy turnkey thing to at least get some kind of presence?
Well, I know you and I would both agree that the most important piece of advertising you can have out there, it would be your Google business profile, right? It's free. It's a box that occurs when you put in the name. Mm-hmm. So if you don't know what one is, go in and put in a major company that you're aware of, and you'll notice that there's a box. That's also where you get your Google reviews done. The next would be a free listing on something like Facebook and Instagram, things like that. And then in my opinion, a website would be the next step. And there's 3 different ways you can do that. The first way, for a lot of people that don't have any money, would be something like on Wix or a GoDaddy, where you build your own account. On the other extreme side of that is where you can go out and somebody has forgive me, but we call it a one and done type of operation. So they put a value on what you're looking to build. Maybe it's $4,000 or $5,000 website. You pay half up front, they build a website, and then they pay the other half, and they're done. It's divine intervention. We were going to be more like that. When we started our agency, we didn't really know any better, and we were going to have a half up front and half in the end and build it that way. But we had a large following of clients that we had from our previous company, and a lot of those people came, and those people were more used to a subscription model, and because that's the way the phone book worked. And so the evolution of all the stuff that came from that previous industry was pretty much monthly driven. And one of the unique things about Big 3 marketing is that we actually are a service company that's gotten into the website business versus somebody that maybe learns how to build a website, and they build a website, but they're not used to service, follow up, follow through, and the relationship and all that. So Valerie and I, and Steve, one of our search engine marketing fellow engineer, we are used to serving and serving and serving. So it's a divine blessing that we weren't in this one and done type of scenario, because eventually they will call you back. One of the downsides of that particular model where somebody just builds it out is they've been paid. So they're not really likely to call back a lot. And because you're waiving $150 for a minor change, and they're working on their next $5,000 website.
Yeah. And the evolution, the changes that come, or the need for another SEO audit, or the fact that somebody left a company and they were on their website, now they need to take them down. They don't have the time to do that. They're out servicing their clients. So that seems like a smart move for you guys to have done that.
You make a great point on that. That's really the most important thing for people to understand. Is 15, 20 years ago, when Google and Facebook didn't have a super large audience, you could have a website out there like a billboard in a forest. You just throw it up there and it's there. Now, with all the demands, now that Google and Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and all these other platforms are monopolies and they have massive audiences, they're now dictating the rules. So it used to be Facebook would beg you, or Instagram would beg you to do likes and shares and all this kind of stuff. Nope, now they own it. And now it's like, these are the hoops and the things that you need to jump over. And so a website is a great example. It's kind of like software. Like 10 or 15 years ago, you'd go find a certain Outlook and you'd load it on your computer, and over 4 or 5 years it would deteriorate and crash, and you would go through all these troubles. And then you'd go back out and buy another CD-ROM. And it was like you buy a Ferrari, by the time you're done, it's a Volkswagen, and then you go back and buy a Ferrari. And so now you'll notice everything's on a subscription model. The downside is, yes, you're paying ongoing for a product or service. The upside is that investment allows you to be on the cutting edge of whatever that software is.
Even your phone. I mean,
yeah.
I have an iPad, Mac, another Mac, iPhone, 2 iPhones. So there's always these updates.
Right.
And you just want to know that your phone's working. Because God forbid you don't get the phone call of your life or whatever.
Yeah. And we've gotten spoiled to where I just bought an iPad and I've had it for a month, but it's not fully syncing. Like the appointment that we had didn't sync on my iPad. Now, fortunately, I've got it on my computer and my
And
my
I
iPhone.
Reminded you.
Yes, you did. So we get upset when there's a hiccup like that. Whereas before, people were conditioned to just kind of slug it through. There are people now that have outdated, forgive me, ghetto websites, and they don't realize how much revenue they're missing.
Oh, I know.
So,
Well, it's the first thing so many people see. It's like you said, it used to be you went to the yellow pages. Now, even to look at a restaurant, if you want to see what their menu is, you go immediately there. Yeah. It doesn't matter. I was actually looking for a doctor that I hadn't seen since 2020. Couldn't remember her name, and I knew I wanted to find her. So I drove to her place, and then I realized I went to her name. I found everything online. Like, what did I do before? I would have to go knock on the door and all that. I didn't want to do that. But anyway.
It's a great memory jogger, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And even trivia night.
Yeah.
I don't cheat. I don't play because I'm not good.
Yeah,
but I'll be in my car afterwards like, man, I didn't know that or whatever.
Yeah.
We used to have to go to the library to find stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
Go to the Rolodex.
Oh, and it took a long time for me to find stuff in the library. I didn't know really how to search.
The
all the different
codes
ways.
and
Yeah.
yeah. So, building with intention, your business, your scaling, what do you hope to see with Big Three in the next 3 to 5 years?
Part of our model is that we're very affordable. And so when it comes to a website, we can have people that have a website that looks like it's $5,000 to $10,000 in value, but there's a very low entry fee. We've basically shifted the burden from the client paying a lot of money up front before they get the value to saying, hey, we're going to forego a lot of immediate gratification so we can partner with you for the long haul. And we're highly responsive. We build killer websites. They all look different. We're a big fan of the Beatles. And one of the things we love about the Beatles is almost none of their music sounded alike.
Yeah.
Whereas you could have somebody like, I'm trying to think of the band where,
Everything sounds the same.
yeah.
Don't ask me. I'm not going to know the
I'm
name.
drawing
I'll
a
have to
blank.
Google it.
Yeah, but sometimes you can hear a riff and go, oh yeah, it's that band.
Yeah.
And so we're very unique. We're a white collar, a white glove company, and we're with that person throughout. When they buy a website from us, we're always available.
Makes me think of another thing in business between AI, technology, and even just the digital space. People want instant information,
Right.
and you're helping get that out there for your client.
Yeah.
But the human component that you're offering to said client is something that these bigger companies, well, look at my industry. I'm in promotional products. There are a lot of major corporations and websites that are out there. But a client can call and maybe not talk to anybody, or it's all bots or anything like that. If something goes wrong with a product, whether it was our fault or not, they know they can get a hold of me.
Right.
Same thing for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Or they just lost an employee and they need to take them off the website immediately.
Right,
Or they
right.
got a bad review. We don't
Yeah.
know how to handle this. What
Yeah.
do we do?
Yeah.
And just having that support for a small business is monumental, because we're all trucking along. We're all trying to figure out what's next and discovering what is new. What new AI thing are we going to learn?
Right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It used to be what? MySpace?
Yeah.
Then Facebook?
Ooh, yeah. Going
And
back.
then- I
forgot
know.
about some of that. Yeah.
Was there anything before MySpace?
Probably not, but I don't know.
When I had my company in Texas, my first company,
Yeah.
we didn't even have a website yet. Like
Yeah.
it was,
Yeah.
I'm that old. We didn't have one.
Yeah.
We were in
Yeah.
the yellow pages.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
logo on that. I remember. Those were expensive.
Yeah, they were, but man, I tell you what, in my opinion, it was the best advertising ever hit the face of the
Oh, yeah.
earth. Because it's subscription, it was bought and paid for, and it was the only
And it was
search engine out there.
alphabetized. Dentist.
And it was cut and dried. Google continues to change their algorithms, and so companies like us are always educating and listening and trying to predict or at least adapt to these ongoing changes in algorithms. The last stat I heard was there's 850 changes in algorithms on Google. And so anybody just thinks you can throw a website up there and be
And it's gonna
good.
be done. They're going to be top seen and all of that stuff.
Yeah, and yesterday I'd heard a friend of mine who's in the business too. They said, hey, I bumped into your friend of yours and the guy really needs a website. It's an accountant. And I was like amazed that he didn't just say, let me take care of it. But the guy was classy enough to where he said, I know you guys are friends and you've known him a long time. But his objection is that he wants to build it like we've built ours, grassroots. So he didn't necessarily want people to find him online and solicit him, but he needs the information on there to help expedite
That
the
content.
flow of business. He might be referred, and they may call him and say, do you do this, this, and this? And he could already have that on the website to where when they call, they just say, hey, when can we get together? So there's 3 different ways somebody needs a website. They've got more business than they can handle, but the website can work as an electronic salesperson to educate that person, to help them book, to help them answer questions, to see details of the services that they offer. In the middle is where you're busy, but maybe you've got something you'd prefer to do more than another, but you're doing both. And it can allow you to scale up to where you're doing more of the premium products that you offer and not do some of the stuff just to stay busy. Mm-hmm. And then on the low side is you're starting up and you need to create an identity. You'd asked me a question, though, that I redirected us, and that was where we're trying to get to. And one of the challenges that I think both of us have is finding good talent to come in and help support us, because the experience that you and I have is very hard to compete with, right? Mm-hmm. And I can walk into somebody that I've never met before, but if they're in the roofing, plumbing, medical business, whatever, the odds are extremely high that I've called on hundreds of people that have done what they've done, and you've had that kind of experience as well. So when you go in, you're not necessarily learning and trying to learn the business. You're trying to learn whether they've got unique one-offs to what you already know, right? And then you can custom build that. And so one of the things your clients need are that for us to solve their problem quickly and get out of the way, right? Those are things that you and I can do. It's hard to bring somebody in and educate them on how to do that. So support would be the thing that
you get to the next level.
Yeah.
And I think just keeping your eyes open and finding those people that understand that any form of sales is your problem solving.
Right.
You have to be a solution to what they're facing, because if I get another email that says, I hope you're having a great day, sales email, I'm going to throw my computer. It's so frustrating. Like, you don't know me, and it takes some time to understand your audience, no matter what you're offering.
Yeah.
Well, if there's one piece of advice that you could give somebody that's wanting to build with intention, whether it's their own business or their own book of business and sales, what would it be that you want to say to them?
I would say make sure that quality is your single most focused mission. Price is something that people focus on when they don't know anything more about you. That's the biggest thing, is people call you up and say, well, how much is this? How much is that? And what they need to understand is that just about everybody needs some level of support, and that support is extremely valuable. This is the first thing that's come to mind on this topic. Is I once went out, I had some friends that are big gun enthusiasts, and they showed me how to buy a gun online, and it was at a great price and all that. But I needed a site and I needed other things. And I didn't really want to go online and have to spend a lot of time trying to figure out whether it fit, whether this was the best thing. And I started thinking, man, I need to go into some of these local gun shops and ask them. And I thought, man, I really feel cheap because I bought this product online. And I've got a lot of clients that talk about people that buy things online and then they want local support on that product, but they didn't start the relationship with the primary thing. And so I think for businesses, we have to be aware that all that's out there, and we need to bring our best game, make sure that we are providing an incredible service for that product. And don't be shy. Sometimes we may be a little bit more or a little bit less than other people out there. I answer the phone 24/7. Fortunately, nobody calls me between midnight and 6. But if on a Saturday night at 9 o'clock somebody calls me, I know it's an illness. I'll look over at my wife, say, pause the TV for a second, and I'll take the call because I know that the client needs me at that point in time. I'm assuming if they call me at an odd hour, it's because they need me. So
Absolutely.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
No. We're all different, and we all set up what we want.
Some people like you can get it done between 8 and 5.
No,
So-
I don't. I work until very
I have to work a
late
little
hours.
bit,
No,
you know?
but when somebody's calling me at 9,
Yeah.
I understand that it's because they thought of it and it's important to them.
Yeah.
However, there's not a whole lot I can do at that hour. So
Right.
about
Well,
2
you've got a
years-
different model too. You know,
True.
if somebody needs to place an order, it may be different than if a website's down, right?
Right, but we also offer social media too. So if we have
Yeah.
a client that's facing an issue, that could probably be
Oh yeah.
a pain. However, when I was getting calls at 9 and 10 and 11 o'clock at night on a pen order, I thought,
Yeah.
I need to stop this because there's nothing I can do at that hour.
Right.
So about 2 years ago, I put my phone on Do Not Disturb at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And the same messages, I take care of them in the morning.
Yeah. My wife would agree with everything you're saying.
Well, and it also...
That's a healthier way to do it.
Well, and it takes a lot of the anxiety out. As a business owner, we're so worried all the time. Is the client happy? Is the products getting done? And you're not doing the website, so you got worried if Valerie's got time to work on that website, or your SEO guy or whatever. So you have all this all the time.
Yeah.
So it's really helped me know that 8 o'clock, I'm done.
Boundaries. That's a good thing.
Now I still work.
Yeah. Oh,
Not
I
all
know.
the time. Not all the time anymore,
Yeah.
though. I mean, we're building this so we don't have
Well,
to
you
work.
network a lot after 5 o'clock, so you
know.
actually are.
I love
know-
it. So
I-
I got one tonight.
Oh, that's great. What's the event?
It's for women in defense, and
Okay.
it's a Western thing. And have you met my
Rodeo up, girl.
Have you met my dad? I don't know if you have.
I don't think I have.
He always wears a cowboy hat.
Okay.
And I
Oh,
went
wow.
and borrowed one of his. It's kind of big.
Does he live in Texas?
He lives
I know
here
you-
in Huntsville.
Oh, okay. But you're from Texas originally? Okay.
So they moved here. That's why I moved here. Long story. But anyway, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Well, thank you for being here. It's been a pleasure.
My pleasure. It's great meeting up with I don't want to say an old friend, a good friend.
A Gen Xer.
Yes, ma'am. Amen.
Thank you for spending this moment with me. If today's conversation resonated, I invite you to follow Mac Moments on your podcast platform so you do not miss future episodes. Growth does not happen all at once. It happens moment by moment. I appreciate you being here, and I look forward to our next conversation.